Lesson learned. Hey guys, this is Andy, and this is my podcast, Mindset Matters More. And I want to talk to you guys about lessons learned because I like to go through experiences and figure out what were some of the things that I learned from them. And I'm going to talk mainly about my competitions from 2023, but I just want you guys to take from that the lessons that I learned and see how you can start to think about the experiences that you go through in your life and maybe, just maybe, realize, what you have inside of you. Okay? So, last year I did 3 competitions. Now, I was planning on doing 4, but we'll get to the 4th one in a second. Okay? So, the first competition that I did was in Connecticut. That was the East Coast Cup, and I placed dead last. Now, you guys know my take on what happens when you fail, quote unquote, fall flat on your face or whatever. And this one I learned a lot. But mainly, what I took away from this competition was that I could really push myself hard to get to a goal. And also that I was surrounded by people who absolutely want to see me win. Now, the first part of that is, I had been telling my coach that I wanted to compete, and I was willing to do whatever it took to get there. Now, I took some extreme measures, and I do not encourage that to anybody, but that was what I wanted. And my coach was like, okay, if that's what you're going to do, then this is what we need to take into consideration and whatever. That said, I did some pretty extreme things to get to stage and still came in dead last. And, my coach came to see me, my husband came to see me, my daughter came to see me. And when I stepped off stage, I realized it's not about the outcome of the stage, that like, no matter what, they still love me. I could be the worst loser out there, come in dead place, and at the end of the day, they will still say, I love you. That my worth is not tied up in this competition. My worth is not tied up in how skinny I am, how fit I am, what I ate, what I did. Like, it's all about, the relationships and things like that. So for me, that was what my first competition taught me. My second competition was in St. Pete. That was Tampa, I believe. Or was it the St. Pete? I don't know, one of those. But I remember I went down there and I went by myself. I'd said, oh, maybe my daughter will go with me, maybe my friends will go with me, maybe my coach will go with me, maybe my husband will go with me. Nobody could go with me. Okay, so I had to go by myself. And I remember I was sitting on the plane thinking, what the hell am I doing? Like, I am about to do something like so crazy, like traveling from Massachusetts to Florida by myself to go compete in an eeny weeny teeny bikini on stage. Like, I had like this come to Jesus moment where I'm just like, oh my God, this is crazy. And I competed and I did a lot better than my first competition. And again, I stepped off stage and I started reflecting and thinking, wow, I can do big things by myself. Now, granted, I didn't win, but I felt like I had won because I had conquered this fear that I was building up on my way down there. And I just remember thinking, oh, shoot, I can do big things by myself. And, well, that leads me to my third competition. And my third competition, I remember telling my coach, listen, just grind me into a fucking pulp. Bring me in as lean as fucking possible. He was like, okay, we're gonna do this. And I really, I quite literally almost killed myself because it took so much. It was 3 hours of cardio, low calories. It was a lot. And I got on stage and I did good. Like, I didn't do the best, but I did good. I mean, the competition was a lot harder. And I remember stepping off stage and thinking, wow, yeah, this was exactly, the lesson I needed was that I should not be killing myself to get to stage. But the fact that like I was willing to do it, I think instilled in me that like I have a passion for this sport and I need to take it seriously on season and off season. Because off season, I tend to like, be loosey goosey with my diet and my exercise or whatever. And if I want it to be a lot easier for preps and to get stage lean, then yeah, I need to take it serious year round. And that like sort of knocked me into where I needed to be in order to be more competitive in this sport. Like I felt like an athlete at that point. And then that brings me to my fourth competition, the competition that never was. Because the point of competing in these shows was that I wanted to go to this big show, which was a national show, and I thought I needed to qualify. I did not qualify in the open division, but for masters, you just have to compete and then you can go to a national show. Like, so if you do a regional show, then you could do a national show in the masters division. And the masters division is 35 years or older. And y'all know your girl is 40 something. Okay. And so that was the plan, but I thought I didn't qualify, so I was like, oh, I can't do it. So I missed on the opportunity to do it, but I'd already bought my tickets. My daughter was coming, her boyfriend was coming, and I was like, you know what, let's just make a vacation out of it, let's go. And you know what happened? My daughter and I got to have a redo of a vacation that we had done when she was maybe like 12, 13 years old. And, I was alcoholic at the time. So, I mean, she might have been younger. She might have been like 9 or 10. I forget. But she was very young. And I remember that picture that we took, in my alcoholic days. It was in front of this Universal Studios sign. And, it like my face was like flush red because I'm an alcoholic and I was drunk, and my daughter had this face like, don't hug me, like she had this like sour face on her that she was just not happy. And so this go around, when we went to Universal, and I was like, oh, let's take a picture in front of the Universal picture sign. And I was like, oh, I think I have a picture of us in front of this from before. And that's when I noticed the picture, and I was like, oh, let's just take a picture like that again. So we redid the picture. And this time she's smiling, big cheesy smile. My face is clear. And I got to have a do-over moment. And I say this story not because I want to share the triumph of being sober and everything. I mean, that's a part of it. But I share the lesson in here. And that everything happens for a fucking reason. Like, I thought I was going to compete in Florida. Like, I was so sure I was going to get that. I was so sure that I was going to qualify, that I was going to rock it, that I was going to do it, and I didn't. And I had those other beautiful lessons of my first competition, reminding myself that I'm loved no matter what. My second competition, reminding me that, I'm strong and powerful on my own 2 feet. And my third competition, reminding me that, yes, I love this sport and that I want to be successful, and that means being more disciplined and kind to my body. And this fourth competition, the competition that never was, it gave me perspective on why everything happened the way that it did, so that I could have this moment. I could have my do-over that was more important than any competition is. That at some point, the world conspired so that this moment could happen and I could share this beautiful vacation with my kid. And that I could have that Disney moment with my kid. It was just so powerful for me. And so I tell you guys these lessons, not because they should be your lessons, But because when you look at situations like, I didn't freaking do well at my first competition, but there was a message in there. My second competition, I didn't do well either, and I had to deal with that shit by myself. And there was a message in there. And that last one, oh my God, my body and mind were so fucked up that when I popped out on the other side, there was a message in there. And ultimately, that beautiful picture that I have in front of that Universal Studio sign, I will forever hold that as a sign that shit's gonna play out the way it needs to play out. Take the lessons, apply them, learn, see the beauty in the failure, see the beauty in the struggle, see the beauty in becoming stronger. And I promise you that it will all make sense in the end, what happened. All right, guys, that's all for me today. Love you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.